welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this right here. Well, folks, I don't want to hear nothing about Jokić next year, the Joker. I don't want to hear nothing about this guy has no help. I don't want to hear it. Now, to me, they didn't really do nothing in the offseason. It was nothing, folks. They got Cam Johnson, and I think they got Bruce Brown back. And was Tim Hardaway already on that team? Tim Hardaway Jr., I don't know if he was already on that team last year, but I don't want to hear nothing, not a trace of nothing from Joker fans. He did nothing as far as willing and dealing with the organization as far as going out and getting Hall of Fame talent. Now, look, it don't bother me if he thinks he can go out here and win this thing by himself without Hall of Fame talent, without Hall of Fame teammates. That's fine with me. If he could take a guy and make him a Hall of Famer like, Michael Jordan basically did. How many guys was able to do that? I don't even think there was any. Hold on, I'm trying to think. Maybe Larry Bird with Kevin McHale. Maybe Steph Curry with, Klay Thompson. Let me think. I want to say Kevin Durant with Russell Westbrook because they choked it up so much. And, Russell Westbrook was such he was a big name coming into the NBA. So it's hard for me to say Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. They never made it over the top. I guess you can say to a degree Isaiah Thomas with Joe Dumars. I don't know. Maybe that's about it. But Michael Jordan, is definitely the ultimate guy who did that with Scottie Pippen. Was able to win 6 championships with Scottie Pippen, 3 in a row. That shit is unheard of, especially with a guy coming out of a no-name college. I mean, that's unheard of right there, folks. So I don't know what you heard before, but I didn't want to really limit it to Michael Jordan because that would be wrong. But Michael Jordan is the ultimate as far as doing that thing with a guy like Scottie Pippen. I don't know. I would have to think of another, maybe Shaq and Kobe. The only thing about the Shaq and Kobe dynamic is it's hard to say that Shaq actually molded Kobe. Because Shaq never had that work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm not. Oh man, when I put up a post, I could put up a post about anything half the time, and it won't get as many reactions as the whole Shaq thing. I'm talking about the Shaq fans are like LeBron James fans. They don't understand logic, and when you try to break, like, you literally, it's almost like dealing with the Facebook LeBron James fans. You'll break stuff down to where you feel like you can't even break it down no more. Like you done told all the facts. It is clear as day. It gave you all the perspective. But they will still gripe and they'll still have something dumb to say. And that's what Shaq fans act like now. The thing with Shaq should have never got his ass swept up and down in the 90s and in the 2000s. Yes, Michael Jordan got swept away. He only got swept twice. What was it? Twice with no help, going out like an OG. You can't get swept with help like that. He didn't come into the league with most of the same guys he went to the NBA Finals with the first time. That's the guys he came into the league with. That's the Nick Andersons, the Dennis Scotts, the Scott Skiles. It's another guy I always leave out too. The Nick Andersons, did I say him? I might have said Nick Anderson. Dennis Scotts. It's another black guy I always leave out. But, and then he got Penny Hardaway. So what I'm trying to say, you can't get swept like that many times with that type of help. It's just crazy. Great role players. They were great role players. If a lot of Shaq fans, they don't understand history. They're like LeBron James fans. A lot of Shaq fans started being Shaq fans maybe when he won his first championship or when Shaq went to the Lakers. That's fine. Whenever you want to start being a Shaq fan, that's okay with me. It doesn't matter. I wasn't a Michael Jordan fan in 85. Yes, I heard about Michael Jordan in 85, but I was still young. Everybody heard about Mike. That's like not hearing about Michael Jordan that's like not hearing about Michael Jackson in 85. I was still young, but everybody knew about Michael Jackson back then. But I really wasn't, into Michael Jackson until about the time I was into Michael Jordan, because I wasn't into sports like that when I was like 6 years old, around that time. And the thing with Shaq, what his fans don't realize is, listen up. You ready? You ready? Shaq was not in the same position as Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan was getting swept. Shaq wasn't getting swept. Shaq wasn't getting swept by the 86 and 80 Celtics. He wasn't. With no help. And it was kind of suspect they put Shaq on that top 75. And he was just a few years into the league and left out Dominique Wilkins. But hey, we can't even argue that. It's hard to, you can argue it, but I wouldn't say he didn't deserve to be on the team. I would say Scottie Pippen didn't deserve to be on that team. I would put Shaq on there before I would put Scottie Pippen, or just put it this way. Yes, Scottie Pippen did deserve to be on there. He did it. If you was going to put Shaq on there over Dominique Wilkins. So Dominique Wilkins deserved to be on there over Scottie Pippen. I really don't know what was going on with, the whole Dominique Wilkins thing back then and how he was gaslighted or whatever like that. But, that's how they was treating him. They treated Dominique Wilkins like, I don't know. It was kind of messed up. I know he eventually got on the top 50. That was the top 50. I know Dominique Wilkins eventually got on the top. So it's almost like what they did with Dwight Howard. That was crazy. That was crazy. Dwight Howard should have been on that top 75. That was real coward of whoever, left him off. Like, for what? Anyways. Let's don't stay on this Shaq thing. We know what Shaq was. He was an all-time great player. That didn't really reach the pinnacle of what he was supposed to reach, because by the time he got into that real center competition, he was supposed to be dominating that weak center competition. That's what he was supposed to be doing. It's almost like LeBron James. Once he got into halfway in the 210s, he's supposed to be dominating the 210s. You know what I'm saying? He was in the East, but he's supposed to be winning a lot of championships. Damn little Steph Curry. See, a lot of that stuff came back to bite LeBron James. Having the league keep softening up the defense about a year. So by the time he got into the 215s, the league got really soft. And that really hurt him. It wasn't to his advantage. It hurt him. Because now you can't really touch nobody. Yes, you're going to get your points and it's going to make you look good. But now you can't really play no defense on nobody else. Right? You can't lock down Curry. You can't lock down Kevin Durant. You can't play lockdown defense on these guys. Klay Thompson. And now you're screwed. Yeah, you're going to get your points and whatever like that. You're going to be able to dominate the East and stuff like that. But when it comes to playing the great shooters, now you're screwed. Yep. So let's get back into this. As far as Joker, I don't want to hear no crying. I don't want to hear no whining about who has what on his team. Now, last year, SGA, I think he had a first-time All-Star on his team, right? So, what are we talking about? And he won a championship with that team. And I don't think he's going back to the All-Star or to the championship this year. I think it's over. We all know how the 2020's been going. One and done. One and done. One and done. See you later. As long as LeBron James is playing, the NBA is not about to let no team go back-to-back. And I don't even think the NBA is going to let any team win 2 championships in the 2020s as long as LeBron James is playing. Because it's not a good look on his clock to have a guy win 2 championships in the 2020s. Or especially go back-to-back while LeBron James is still playing, right? So the NBA Ain't fixing to let that happen, folks. And I told you guys, these guys are going to play character to this story that the NBA is providing a script by not letting it happen, right? By not letting it happen. Now, we're going to see with this whole NBC thing, and they got all these guys we talked about yesterday, about the new guys that's going to be on the NBC. I don't know. I've seen a lot of these guys, they're just playing switcheroo, from TNT and going to NBC and stuff like that. So it ain't like we've never seen these guys on TV before. Your Vince Carters. I think Jamal Crawford is on there. Grant Hill is on there. Just a whole bunch of names we done seen before. I think a lot of these guys are coming from NBA TV and stuff like that. What's this guy? Tracy McGrady. That's why he had been in the rounds a lot, dissing Kobe and stuff like that. And so you'll get familiar with him on TV. And we see Tracy McGrady on TV before that, running his mouth. But these are the type of guys, which it don't bother me. I was telling you before, okay, let's get some 2000s guys to talk about the NBA. I'm sick of seeing these 90s guys talking about the NBA. I don't really want to see it because this isn't their era. The league kind of started to go soft. I won't say it was soft in the 2000s. That's when they try to make these guys soft. I don't think they were having it, per se, because it was a dead ball era. They're still playing defense. But in 2005, this satisfied LeBron James making the playoffs for the first time. 2005-2006 season, they cut out defense. So, like I said, I'd rather have these 2000s guys, out here being analysts than seeing 90s and especially 80s guys. Like, no, I want you to be out here telling the truth about this trash instead of telling lies on a script to have a job because you didn't make that money we were told in your career. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But it is what it is, folks. We got to deal with what we got to deal with about this NBA. These guys, like I said, these guys are running for a job. These guys are supposed to be making tens of millions of dollars in a career, and what do? They go run for a job, folks. And like I said, it's to me, it's more apparent for the guys that played in the 2000s, 2010s, and stuff like that, because 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s guys didn't make that kind of money. They didn't make that kind of money. It was when them big contracts really start kicking in was the 2000s until now. And like I said, I will say this a million times, and I don't care who likes it. These guys got a podcast during the season just to make money. They're trying to tell you these guys are making all this money today in a viewership that is no good. No good. No good. It's like a failing company, right? Remember, the NBA players is the product. The NBA players are the product. That's what they are, folks. Let's don't ever forget that. Whatever you want to think. In business, you have to have a product to sell. We've heard this a lot of times. The product on the field, the product on the court. We done heard that a million times. So the players are the product, right? So in business, you have a product to sell your consumer, right? And your consumer is going to say, I don't like this. It's okay. It's really bad. It's awful. I don't want to buy it again. Or they're going to say, it's okay. It's good. It's great. It's excellent. It's just selling out. Can't get enough of it. It's the best. So when you look at the NBA, let's just say in the 2020s, it's the worst of all time, folks. This product that they've been giving you on the court is the worst product of all time. It's the worst. It's not good. It's not okay. It's not bad. It's the worst. That's it. But they actually want you to believe that these guys are making record-breaking contracts. And why would you make all this money if you was giving it to them? Because it's the best product. It's the best product. It just keeps growing and getting bigger than what we've seen in the past. And what is that based on? Okay. Maybe 3 years ago, the highest contract was like $40 million, right? Just saying. I don't know if it was or wasn't. But now, the biggest contract is $60 million, right? That means it was some guys 3 years ago who are making 10 million a year, now they're making about 25 million a year, right? Or 20 million a year, right? So everybody's making more because the league is growing, the product is getting bigger. But for some reason, they want you to believe that in any other walk of life, it's possible for all businesses to put shitty product out there to the consumer, to the customer, and they don't like it. They don't buy it. And it just sits on the shelf. Nobody's buying it. It's no good. But they actually want you to believe that the business just keeps going on and on. And that's fine. But on top of that, they want you to believe that, guess what? They're going to give the customers, not the customers, the workers, more and more money. They're going to give them money that they're not even making like that. Oh boy. I just, it's hard for me to believe this stuff, folks. It's just hard. And then these guys, they just solidify it. And they just make me right. And they have to do stuff like go to Europe in the off season to make money and play in basketball leagues that the NBA now advertises in the off season. Their star players who are Euro players now are over there playing in the Euro League. And even too, they're advertising, role players now playing in the Euro League. There's basically a nobody in the NBA. I won't say no. He's just a role player. He's not a star. He's not a superstar. But they're sitting over here advertising it like he scored 21 points. Like, who cares? So these guys go over there to the Euro League and they have to make money over there playing. They never rest their bodies, and they have to come over here and play in the NBA. They're taking like 1 month off, if that, to go over there and play. Between the NBA and the Euro League, and they get like 1 month rest and stuff like that. Because yes, they're making all this money in the NBA. I just don't get it, man. I just don't get how people can be that dumb. And again, these guys have to podcast during the season just to make any money. It's like, where does this stupidity start and end? Okay? Where does it start and end? And then you got to realize why my channel is not monetized. Okay? Why YouTube doesn't want my channel out there to everybody. Because if you're not talking like everybody, YouTube is not pressing that. Listen to this. I even have subs telling me that they're not even allowed to like my video. Go like something on my video, and guess what? It will get erased. Their comments will get erased. Yeah. So I don't come on my channel and try to be a character. Some people come on their channel and they try to be this character. Fine, good for them. A lot of people like characters. That's why the world is like it is. Nobody wants to be a real person. When you grow up, you see all these people, they act like characters because the people on TV are characters. They're not those real people in real life. If you really met them, they're somebody totally different than people on TV. So they put on the character. So when when you go to work, when you get around people, everybody is in character. You really don't see that real person unless you really live with them. So a lot of these people come up on YouTube and they come on YouTube in character. I don't come on my channel in character. I try to talk to my people like, or my subs one-on-one as a real person. I'm a real person. You're a real person. And I try to talk to you as like I'm living in the real world. And you are too. And I don't try to get on here and act like, I'm the boss of my channel and that's it. And whatever I say goes. Because you already know whatever I say don't go. Because I'm not like that. And I'm not like that because, my range is wide the hell open. And I talk about, all kind of stuff that most YouTubers will be scared to death to talk about. They just are. Whether I'm right or I'm wrong, they're just scared to death. because, a lot of them, they do this stuff for a paycheck. So they don't want to get dinged by YouTube. And like I said, I got a lot of guys I listen to that I'm not trying to disrespect them, because that's a lot of these guys, they depend on this money to pay their bills. They don't have like another job like that. Or, they're coming out here giving you straight facts about sports. I'm talking about a lot of these other guys. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of these other guys don't like to go outside the script at all. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They don't like to go outside the YouTube script at all. Some of the guys I listen to, yes, they might not say a whole bunch of, what you would say conspiracy crazy stuff that I say that's way over the top, but they do go outside the script. And I can tell by their channels, they go outside the YouTube script, because you can look at their channel. They don't have 100,000 subs, which means, they're on their channel telling a lot of truth, period, but they're on their channel going outside the YouTube script, and YouTube dings them. You take, for instance, one guy, sports and fitness rants. I love his channel, and he should have about 50,000 subs by now. But YouTube, sees he goes outside the script, and they're going to ding you for that. A lot of other guys too, Angry Old Hoops fan, he should have 100,000 subs by now. What about Too Raw? He should have about 100,000 subs by now. But it's a lot of dudes on here that don't go outside the YouTube script, and they have 100,000 subs like it ain't nothing. I ain't gonna start pointing out no names, because I don't want to get into them, because some of these guys I listen to, they like those guys, and it's cool. You can like who you want to like. That's fine with me. It's just some of these guys I kind of see through them. I'm not trying to say they're bad people, but it's just something, I don't know, man. So this whole Joker thing, I just don't want to hear no crying. I don't want to hear no whining and no crying from nobody about this whole thing. When Joker is in fourth place, when he ain't winning another championship, or he gets bounced from the playoffs in the 7th game against the champions, and he don't show up again. I just don't want to hear it. I'm done. Because he had one obligation this offseason. Go out and get you a superstar teammate and get it done. That was the one obligation that this guy had. I think he's going into his 11th season already. And he's got 1 championship, guys. Maybe he should have 4 MVPs. I'm not trying to doubt his MVPs. I'm not, a so-called hater on that level. I've never doubted he should have none of his MVPs. And I never doubted that he should have 4 MVPs. That's fine with me. He's the best player in the 2020s, hands down. And I don't think anybody's even close. But it's saying something about him as a basketball player, a professional basketball player in the NBA, that he has no superstar help. And let's not forget, it says something about the NBA too as a whole, that one, he's not the face of the league with 3 MVPs in a championship, right? They had this guy promoted on a top 5 level of all time on his championship run. And 2, the NBA won't give him no help. So he won't go out and get no help on his own. We haven't heard a push, a surge. You know what I'm saying? Like, they Joker went out there and, he's been trying to get these great players, blah, blah, blah. But, the team is stopping him. The NBA is stopping him. No player wants to go play with him. We ain't heard nothing. Have you heard something? I haven't heard nothing. So basically, you're just out there putting up easy stats. Let's be real. You're out there putting up easy stats on no competition at the center position in a no-touch era, the weakest era of all time, the 2020s. You're putting up all these stats. And it seems like stats over championships, folks. It seems like stats over, even LeBron James was putting up a whole bunch of stats. But at one point, he knew he had to start winning some championships. You can't even put his name in there with all-time greats with some damn stats. Really? So you ain't never made an all-NBA defensive team, which in this era, all you have to do is pretend like you're playing defense. Ask Rudy Gobert. And you only won one championship. You haven't led the league in any statistic. Yes, you've been top 3, top 5, whatever like that. That's not leading the league. When I go on Wikipedia and it shows a player's resume, shows his all-stars, all-NBA, all-defensive, all this stuff. Scoring titles, rebound titles, block titles, steal titles, whatever. It don't say triple-doubles. It don't say nothing about you led the league in triple-doubles. It don't say that. Let me know if I'm wrong. Is there a triple-double crown? I don't see there's no award for that. Let me know. I haven't seen it. So if that's the case, you've been leading the league in a meaningless stat. A meaningless stat. Don't you think if that was something that, you could lead the league in and it meant something, you got an award? Michael Jordan been trying to get a whole bunch of those. Yeah. Don't think he wouldn't. But you guys let me know. I've never seen it on the resume. But once again, how is this guy not the face of the league? And this is where I go deep. The NBA wants all these, international players to clog up the league, can come over here so they can get views from both sides. They can get money from both sides. It's fine with me. I don't care. At this point, I don't think they're these great skilled players we were told, because they're along with the new NBA, the carrying, traveling. You can't touch nobody, all this stuff, whatever. But the fact is, if you're going to make these guys, if you're going to clog up the league with all these international players, and your top 5 guys are international players, then what? You don't want to make them the face of the league? How stupid is that? Americans are fed up with watching this trash. And that's why you start to go get all these international players. If this is so, you need to make one of them the face of the league. The problem is, one, the NBA doesn't want that. They want their cake and eat it too. They want to push forward to a guy like Anthony Edwards, who never made an All-NBA first team, rode the bench in the Olympics, and it ain't even been a top 5 player since he came in the league, right? When we look at the rankings. So the NBA, they want their cake and eat it too. They want the international players to be the best in the league, but they don't want them to be the face. It's just it's the dumbest thing you ever seen. Are they scared it's going to turn into baseball? What happened to baseball? They brought in all these international players who can't even speak English. And to me, I don't even know if they trying to speak English, but when you got 97%, like your players, why would they want to speak English? You have a translator between the coach and the players. What? I mean, this is why I stopped watching baseball. A natural in baseball. I played baseball growing up. I like baseball more than, basketball and football. But when they kicked all the black players out, I was finished. I was done. Because they weren't better than the Dave Justices, the Ken Griffey Jr.'s, these international players, the Ricky Hendersons, the Dave Winfields, the Kirby Pucketts, the two-way players like Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders, right? The Barry Bonds, the Bobby Bonilla's, the Andre Dances, the Joe Carters, the Tony Gwynns, all these great players. All these great black players, they weren't better then. And you can say white players, no, these dudes ain't better. They're not. And now you don't have no personality in baseball. When we had all these guys that I mentioned, the Darryl Strawberries and the Ken Griffey Jr.'s and the Deion Sanders and the Bo Jacksons and these type of guys, Doc Good, these guys were in the league with personalities. The Dave Justices or the Bobby Bonillas, these guys have personalities to baseball, folks. When you can't even speak English, and you're not American, and there's no American culture in baseball. What? I would never watch this trash. And it's getting like that with NBA. Your top 5 players aren't American. They have no American personality to the game. They can't sell the game. That's what happened with baseball too. You can't sell. You guys can't sell the games on commercials, whatever. I'm just saying. At least baseball was honest. They were like, we're going down. We're starting. They weren't honest at first, but yeah, it became apparent they was kicking all the black players out and the white players to get these guys to start farm teams, Caribbean farm teams, instead of American farm teams. Well, American AA, AAA, whatever. They don't want to pay American players $1 million, $2 million to see if they're gonna become good. So they rather pay the Latinos $50,000, $25,000, $100,000 in the Caribbean League, and then bring them up if they're good. At least baseball started to be a little bit honest, even though they try to lie at first and say, "Oh yeah, black players don't want to. Black people don't want to play baseball no more. They're gravitating towards basketball and football." Like what? So you're trying to tell me a sport where you sit down on offense and on defense you stand around? What? Black players don't want to play it? Well, white players had an 80-year head start, and black players still own like half the damn records that will never be broken by Latinos. In guaranteed contracts, and they were natural. Black players were natural. I mean, they don't want to play this game of baseball? Wow. This is crazy. No, they just stopped drafting you. You don't have any choice. Right? It's almost like saying black people stop wanting to do hard work. And that's why all these, these people are over here from other countries doing it. No, it's because they stopped hiring you. And they gave you a pop culture to where you said you don't want to do this work no more. That's why these people are over here. Not because they're better workers. No. Better worker means you pay them good money, but you're not paying them good money. The replacements aren't getting paid good money. So you're not unionizing them. You're not paying, in some jobs, a lot of them, you're not paying about an hour. You're not paying them insurance. You're not paying them workman's comp, nothing. So they're not better workers. They're just cheaper workers that don't have no job, no work back at home. So, I mean, I'm just trying to tell you. And that's why I try to talk to people like they're real people. I don't try to come up on my channel and just try to be this character like a lot of people try to do. And they try to act like this world is perfect. It's not. It's not. And that's why we're in the ish we're in as people. It don't matter what color we're in. And I talk from the standpoint in my country and what I see. It's not black and it's not white. And it's not, your nationality against this. It's realistic. It's real life. So I can only tell you, from a main standpoint, what I see in the place where I live. In the United States. In the history of the United States. I can't go over there to Venezuela and tell their history like that, to a T. I can tell you an overview, and I can tell you a real overview that maybe they don't even know. But I can't really tell you in detail like they can tell you what's going on and what they see on a day-to-day, year-to-year, month-to-month basis. That's why you can't believe anything the damn news says, because they're all full of shit. Because they're not telling you the truth about anything. Oh, I was watching, it was on YouTube, NBA on ESPN. And they said, the season's going to start. They had Channing Frye on there, Brian Windhurst, and they had, what's his name? Jason, what's this guy? Is his name Jason? Goodness gracious, I forget what this guy's name is. The flame dude. Flamer. Oh my God. The guy that played on the Nets. LeBron James apologist. I can't remember his name. He was the high flyer dude, whatever like that. Anyways, they had them all on one channel. I'm telling you, boy, it was a flame fest. I'm talking about like flames were going everywhere. I couldn't even believe it. Woo! It was tough, man. The NBA, and then they, I wouldn't be so they had, one of the WNBA players on there. And you don't even know which one is trans or a woman. So it was real tough to watch. It was out there, man. What's his name? Is it Jason? Oh my God. I can't remember this guy's name. He's bald headed. What's his name? See, sometimes when you the harder you think, the more it don't come to you. Oh my God, you guys know what I'm talking about. He's a commentator on ESPN or whatever like that, and he does the play-by-play a lot of times and stuff like that. But he played on the Nets, and he can't play with LeBron James on the Cavs. But let me get off of here. So yeah, I'm sticking to my guns. I don't want to hear nothing about this Joker. He didn't go out and he didn't pursue any. I don't want to hear about Bruce Brown and their championship that they won, beating the Heat, and they didn't beat no 50-win teams on the way to winning that championship. Yes, they got Bruce Brown back, and I think they got Cam Johnson. Like, these aren't big time, superstars or nothing like that. So I don't want to hear nothing about he ain't got no superstar or his teammates or whatever like that with that guy. I don't want to hear nothing. That's on him. I guess he's going with the NBA script that he's not allowed to win no more championships while LeBron James is in the league, and they'll give him praise, yes, like they always do, just for a selling point. But other than that, I don't see this guy winning no more championships this year. I either see, I don't know. I won't be surprised if I see Anthony Edwards win a championship. I won't be surprised. I'm gonna stick with Anthony Edwards on this one. So tell me what you think.